Hare Krishna. So thank you all so much for joining this second day fest, us second Saturday, that is to 11th, on this wonderful series of the Arjuna mindset. So thank you. It was a long weekend, I think so, and not many of us have remembered, but we do remember the experience that we have shared the last in our last class. So today we're going to have some more amazing experiences with some amazing devotee that we have with us today. So I would like you to welcome His Grace Dhira Prabhu in this wonderful session of the Arjuna mindset. I would request I would like to give the introduction who he is. So Prabhuji, His Grace Dhira Prabhu is actually one of our temple presidents, and he is by profession CA, Chartered Accountant, and he has completed his Chartered Accountancy, or rather cleared his exams in a very short period of span. He is very intelligent. He takes care of the entire management in our temple, and of course, he has served in many of the projects in our temple. He is also a youth preacher, and he is inspiring so many amazing devotees around the world. As you can see, this is a small introduction of Prabhuji. Next page, please. So, in his first attempt only, he cleared his chartered accountancy, and he has a 3.5 years of professional experience in a reputed CA firm. He worked in Indore. Next. And he got connected to ISKCON in 2011, and he became a full-time monk in 2019. He currently serves as a co-president of ISKCON Ujjain, as I told, and he is guiding and mentoring hundreds and thousands of students and even wonderful corporate professionals. So we'd like to welcome His Grace Dhira Prabhu by a Hari Bol. So please, I request each and every one of you to please go to the chat box and welcome His Grace Dhira Prabhu by typing Hari Bol. So in in the beginning, before I hand over the dice to the digital dice, virtual dice, to His Grace Dhira Prabhu. Today, he'll be sharing on some of the very important and the most, what we say, relevant topic, which is actually mind and inner peace. Everyone is talking about inner peace, is struggling with stresses and anxieties in workplace. So here we have with us is Grace Dirgorpu, who is going to share some of the technicalities of mind and the inner peace. So please stay tuned with us because in the end we'll be having some questions uh, which you can actually directly ask to His Grace Dirgar Pro. And apart from that, we will be asking you some of the questions. So over to you, His Grace Dirgar Project.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very grateful for this opportunity to present before all of you. So I request if everyone can please switch on their cameras, the class will become more lively and interactive. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prasharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashnat Deshatarane Vanchakalpataruhasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम। Yeah, thank you so much for taking out your time and coming here and spending some of the precious moments of your life with us, with great faith, anticipation, expectation, and hope that something benefit will get it. So thank you so much for trusting us, and we'll be trying our best to serve you. And I know all of you are coming from different parts of world, actually, not only from India. Some of you from other sources also. So you see, uh, the world today is in a very precarious situation, in a very difficult situation. And Anand Kuntu, what to do with this quiz result? The world today is in a very precarious situation, and everyone knows what's going on in Middle East. That's unfortunate to see, but this is one thing which is predominantly occupying the entire world from time immemorial, is change. The change is there in every part of the world. The change is there in every time, including individually, personally, collectively, nationally, globally, everywhere. This change becomes the cause of fear into people's heart, and people become fearful. Why? Because everyone's life is getting affected by the change. So when a person is born, gradually he becomes older, and during the course of his journey, when he's very small, a little boyhood, he plays with the friends, and suddenly a change comes when he has to go to school, and he feels very fearful. So many kids, they cry a lot, they weep, they fear going to school because that is a drastic change. Earlier they were habitual of living into the lap of their mother, into the so-called comfort zone in their family, and playing with the family members, with brothers and sisters. But going to school brings a lot of change. After school, people go to colleges. That's also change. People go for job or career options. That's also change. So the life is definitely filled with many changes. However, there are 6 changes which define a living entity as per Bhagavad Gita, as per Vedic Shastras. Just note that it is very important. What are the 6 changes which define this world is completely filled with and living entities have to go through? The first is birth. Every person, every soul embodies one body and takes birth in that particular body. That is first change. And after this comes the second change. This body gradually grows bigger, grows young, grows older. So growth is the second change. When body grows, a child, a very small child, when it is born, it is hardly 2 kilos or 3 kilos in weight. It gradually turns into 70 kilo, 80 kg of a person. So that growth is prominently seen in everyone, right? Not only humans, but animals also, plants, trees, insects, reptiles, wherever the living force, the Atma, the soul is there, that change is easily visible. The third change is it maintains itself for some time during the youthful stage, right? And the fourth change is it produces byproducts like human beings coming together and producing a child. Similarly, insects, animals, birds, plants, everyone. So there is reproduction of the byproduct. That is fourth change. Fifth change is gradually dwindling. Our body starts decaying. Our energy starts reducing. Our strength starts diminishing. Our intelligence starts reducing. So everything gradually starts reducing, diminishing, decaying. That is called dwindling. That is a very terrible, fearful change. People start seeing wrinkles on their skin. People start seeing white hairs coming on their heads. Not like us, we are totally bald. But people maintain hairs. So white hairs start coming. People start seeing their teeth falling up. And so this change of gradually coming into old age is very fearful, right? Shankaracharya gives a very beautiful words. He says, Angam galitam palitam mundam dashana vihitam jatam tundam vriddhayopi grihitva dandam tadapi namunchati ashapindam. He says, in old age, is describing basically the old age. He says, Angam galitam. What happens during the old age is the limbs of the body starts melting. That means they start losing their strength. They become more and more weak. Digestion becomes weaker. Hands and legs, there is so much pain. A person is hardly finding an ability strength to walk properly. Right? Angam galitam. Palitam mundam, the head goes automatically shaven up. Person goes bald. Hair start falling away. Dashana vihitam jatam tundam. We have a great team of 32 teeth, and that starts falling away one by one, right? Vriddhayopi grihitva dandam. Earlier, 2 legs were sufficient to walk, to run, to climb, but now those 2 legs can't work anymore. So we need third leg, which is a walking stick. And tadapina munchati asha pindam. But still, the point is the desires are not reducing. The desires are in fact increasing more and more. So therefore, person becomes frustrated. He has so many desires, so many wants to achieve, things to do, but his body is not supporting. So that fearful stage of youthful and that fearful stage of old age makes a person more miserable, makes a person more fearful, terrible. So therefore, in most of the times in old age, person goes crazy. In Hindi, we say Satya Gaya Bichara, right? So what is a Satya Gaya? Because he has so many desires, but he can't fulfill them. He hardly has any resources, strength, and things available. And moreover, sometimes, most of the times actually, family members also don't support. He was expecting the family will support, but they also don't support, right? So this change is visible. You see, there are 4 yugas as per our scriptures, Vedic scriptures. They say one is Satyuga, second is Treta, third is Dwapar Yuga, and fourth is Kali Yuga. And what is the mentality of people in this ages? It says in Satyuga, people used to believe everything belongs to God. Everything belongs to God, and we are their servants. So we use everything, all our money, all our resources, land, property, etc., in the service of God. We, as servants of the God, we use everything in the service of the God. That was the mode of the people in Satyuga. So therefore, the people in Satyuga, they used to live so wonderfully, so happily, so long. Their lifespan was too long. They were so healthy, right? They didn't have any problem like stress management, depression, anxiety. No. There was no problem as such. They were so peaceful, so happy, so calm. Then came an age which is called Treta Yuga. So people became a little more greedy. And their formula about giving God was, you see, they used to draw a circle. They used to draw a line. They used to draw a big circle basically. And they used to stand in between, in middle of that circle. And whatever money they used to earn throughout their month, they used to throw up in the sky. And whatever falls within that big circle, it belongs to God. And whatever falls outside of that circle, it would belong to them personally. So the portion which would fall outside, they would use it for their personal purposes. And the portion which fell inside the circle, they would use it for service of God. But still people were more pious. Like they used to draw a big circle, not like small circle, a big circle where probably most of the money would fall inside the circle, right? Then came Dwapar Yuga. People used to draw a line. Whatever would fall on the right side of the line, it belongs to God. And whatever would fall on the left side of the line, it would belong to them, and they would use it for their own personal purposes. So people, their greed were increasing more and more, and their tendency to give it to God and donating to God or donating for the noble causes, it was reducing, right? So probably half of the wealth would fall right and half would fall on the left. So that's how they used to do. And then comes Kali Yuga, the age in which we are living in right now. So Kali Yuga is an age where people throw their money in the sky and say whatever God can catch belongs to God, and whatever would fall down, it belongs to me personally. So that is the age where people are so greedy that they don't want to give anything to God, right? So what is the biggest change here? The change is the mentality. The change is the mood. The change is the upbringing. Change is the sanskars people are going through. They are becoming more and more personal oriented, not thinking about others, not thinking about God, what to say of society and other people to help with them, but they are thinking only about them. I should fill up my pockets. I should fill up my belly. I should become more. I should become more wealthy, more handsome, more rich, more beautiful. Me, me, me. They think that the world is actually moving around, keeping myself in the center. I want to become the king of the entire world. So people have kicked out God from the center of their lives and they have put themselves in the center. So there's a drastic change which people have seen from Sati Yuga to Kali Yuga. And this is one of the hint why so many problems are coming, right? Earlier people were dependent upon God. So therefore they were carefree because they would know ultimately God is managing everything. And when God is managing, his managerial abilities are far more better than myself. But nowadays people don't have faith on God, so they want to manage their life personally. They don't want to give anything to God. They don't want to go to God. They don't want to approach to God, right? They want to solve every problem with their own mind. They want to solve every problem with their own intellect, their own brain, right? So this is the biggest change which people are going through. So therefore, the problems which people used to face earlier, the nature of the problems is also changing nowadays. Earlier, their problems was basically sometimes some demons are coming and attacking, right? Some demons in Satyuga, there were demons like Hiranyaksha or Hiranyakashipu. So they were very prominent. They were coming and attacking people and they were disturbing people. But nowadays, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu are there in every home. Almost every home, people have become so greedy, so lusty that throughout the world, people are frustrated with these kind of demons, right? Earlier times, they were problem like people were uh, there were some family fights, right? Some family fights between, say, Mahabharat, Kaurava and Pandavas. But nowadays, it's very hard to find some family who is living united. Almost all of the families, they have become nuclear. To the extent, even husband and wife cannot live together. In India, people are fearful of getting married. अरे भैया शादी कर लेंगे, पता पड़ा शादी के 14 दिन बाद वाइफ हमारे 15 टुकड़े करके नीले टंकी में डाल के जाएगी, सीमेंट में पैक करके जाएगी. So wife will kill us and it will cut us into 15 parts and pack us in cement bag or something like that. So people are fearful. Even husband don't have trust on their wives don't have trust on their husbands, parents don't have trust on their children, son or daughter don't trust their parents. What's going on? What's going on? The nature of problem is becoming more and more subtle. From gross, it is becoming more and more subtle. So therefore, this is the only age where people talk about restlessness of the mind, where people talk about controlling the mind, where people talk about stress, depression, anxiety, and so on, right? So this is the only age where people talk about all these things. So therefore, we need to understand that actually what's going on. You see, it's a very simple analogy. I'll tell you. So it's a half full, half empty glass analogy. The half full and half empty, what is it? Sometimes there are some positive things which are like half full, and sometimes there are some negative things which are like half empty. So negative things like difficulties which people go through, difficulties in terms of their personal life, difficulties in their career, difficulties in their surroundings and people, and so many things. Sometimes there are disappointments. People are not able to live up to their expectations. Results do not come expectations. There are politics. In spite of working so hard, there are disappointments. There are obstacles. People are not able to bring the results as per their needs. So many obstacles come. Sometimes health issues, sometimes resources issues, sometimes lack of support, sometimes lack of jack, and so many things. The changes in victim mentality, right? So the problems will remain. The problems will remain. But what is point of giving this glass analogy here is, you see, if I have a glass in my hand, if I have a glass in my hand, now how much do I hold it? The weight of the glass hardly matters, but it depends on how long do I hold it. If I hold a glass for 15 minutes, that 250 ml of glass would appear to me like 1 ml of, 1 liter of glass. If I hold it for 1 hour, it will appear like 10 liters of weight. And if I hold it for 1 day, probably my hand will become paralyzed, right? So the weight is only 200 ml or 250 ml. But how long do I hold it changes the entire scenario. Similarly, problems are there in everyone's life. To begin with, Arjuna also had the problems. Bhagavad Gita, if we see about Bhagavad Gita, So Bhagavad Gita talks about a very beautiful scene. I mean, the way Bhagavad Gita is started is with mental problems with Arjuna. You see, in these three verses, Arjuna is saying, दृष्ट्वेवं स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितं सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति. He says, सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति. Oh my dear Krishna, seeing all my relatives assembled before me in order to fight, my limbs are trembling. I am becoming more and more weak, like, and mukham cha parishushati, my mouth is getting dried up. So my mouth is drying up and my body is quivering. I feel the limbs of my body quivering. This is first sign which Arjuna is telling to Krishna. Second, he says, Ve pathuscha sharire me roma harshascha jayate gandivam sramshate hastat tvakcheva paridahyate. He says, my whole body is trembling, my hairs are standing on end, and my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. Right? These are signs of acute stress, anxiety, or depression. And the third word he says, Na cha shaknomi avasthatum brahmatveva cha me manaha nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. Oh Krishna, I am not able to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. Oh Krishna, the killer of Keshi demon. So this is Arjun, who was one of the mightiest warrior, the greatest warriors of the entire time. Nobody could stand in front of him. Even Indra, even Lord Shiva couldn't stand in front of him. But anxiety, problems, and depression, they can haunt anyone. They can trouble anyone, right? But the greatest point before Arjuna was that he overcome it by the grace of Krishna, because he selected Krishna as his spiritual master. So we need somebody's help in order to come out. We need a spiritual master. We need a guru who can guide us in order to face these obstacles of our life. It's not that obstacles won't come, obstacles will come, but it's our perception, it's our vision about the obstacle which changes our mentality, which changes our life. So therefore, there's a very important thing to say. You see, obstacles are not obstacles. The obstacles is the mentality that obstacles won't come. Obstacles is the mentality that obstacles are bad, and obstacles is the mentality that obstacles are insurmountable, right? These three mentalities are actually our biggest hurdles. Probably obstacles are there in everyone's life, but nobody wants them, and people expect that obstacles should not come in their life, but anyways they are going to come. Who can stop them, right? So therefore we need to learn how to change our mentality towards these obstacles, and that change of mentality will change our life altogether, right? मन की दिशा बदलने से हमारे जीवन की दशा अपने आप बदल जाएगी. In Hindi we say like that. There is a very good example here I would mention to you. You see, there was a very famous tennis player. His name was Arthur Ashe, if you might have heard. In 1983, he was very famous, very very famous actually, and he won many awards and many medals. So in 1983, what happened? He had a blood transfusion, and accidentally he received infected blood and he contacted AIDS, right? And in that very year, the very surgery which he was supposed to save his life, it ended up triggering the end of his life. So he went to a surgery to save himself, but it contracted AIDS because of that blood transfusion, contaminated blood transfusion. So he had achieved heights, including the winning of Grand Slam. So one of his fans wrote to him in a letter. He said, "Why did God do this to you? You were so famous. What was your mistake? What wrong did you do? Why did God did this to you?" And his reply was so amazing, so famous. Probably some of you might have heard. He said, you see, hear it carefully. He said, 50 million children in this world desire to play tennis. How many? 50 million. 5 million of them get the opportunity to learn tennis. Out of those 5 million, probably 500,000, that means 5 lakh, they become professional tennis players. Out of those 500,000, almost 5,000, they reach a Grand Slam. Out of those 5,000, only 50 of them may reach Wimbledon, right? Out of those 50, probably 4 of them, they may reach semi-finals. Out of 4, 2 will reach final, and out of those 2, 1 will win the final. He said, I won that final. And this is the moment where he's holding that cup of Wimbledon championship. He won that final cup. And he said, when I was holding the cup in my hand, I never asked God, why me? Why did you do this to me? Why so much fame? Why so much success? I do not deserve it. Nobody says to God when they become so happy, when they get success, right? Probably people blame God for obstacles coming in their life. So therefore he says, when I was holding the cup in my hand, I never asked God, why me? So now that I am in pain, how can I ask God, why me? What right do I have to ask God, why me? Right? So God gave me immense blessing. God gave me immense treasure, immense fame, immense name, immense wealth, everything which I did not deserve, which I did not ask for, which I did not pray for. So without asking, He gave me. So if now without asking, He's giving me some pain, some trouble, what right do I have to ask Him, why me? Therefore, I have full faith on the instructions. I have full faith on God. Whatever is going to happen with me will be good for me. This is the change of mentality. You see, though he contracted AIDS without any, I mean, what is called any negative thing from his side, without any mistake from his side, but he accepted it as a plan. He accepted his mercy of God. That is change of mentality which is needed. Everyone has to go through obstacle, and those obstacles, they are so heavy sometimes, like earth is shaken up by earthquakes, right? Nobody knows when will earthquake come. Nobody knows what scale they will happen, and nobody knows where they will happen. Beyond everyone's comprehensions, beyond everyone's desire, earthquakes come, and sometimes they bring a lot of devastation in nations, in cities, in people's life. So much destruction is done because of earthquakes, right? Who wants earthquake? Who wants? Nobody wants earthquake, but still they come. So this, the way nature brings earthquake, in the same way everyone's life there are life quakes, right? What is life quake? What are life quakes? Life quakes are the events which destruct our life, which shakes up, which trembles our life like anything. Like earthquakes are the natural disasters, similarly, life quakes are the disasters which happen in our own personal life. It may be relationship issues. Somebody of our dear, maybe he dies, he leaves us, they betray us. It may be career and finance related issues. We may not be able to get what career we want. We may get constant amount of failures. Sometimes we are kicked out, right? Sometimes we lose our money, like in 2008 when those crises came, financial crisis. So many people, they were millionaires and billionaires, they came on road, right? Sometimes there are problems related to the identity, meaning, and dishonor. So people face stress, mental issues. Sometimes there are physical, mental health, and death related problems. Our body may bring so many kind of things. So these are life quakes which are going to come in everyone's life. So now we need to learn how to deal with the mentality towards it. Doctor will do its part about illness and all these things, but we need to make ourselves so much strong inside that we can easily absorb these quakes which are coming through our lives, right? These are called life quakes. And the research says, the social science indicates that every person generally experiences between 3 to 7 life quakes in his entire life. They may be in any of these kind of natural disasters or illnesses or identity, meaning, dishonor, or career relationship issues. At least 3, and maximum goes to, not maximum, but average 3 to 7. A person experiences life quakes. I'll give you a short story, then coming to the solution part, how can we control ourselves. She's a lady, her name is Sindhutai Sapkal. And it's a very, heartwarming story, a very wonderful story to learn to. So many lessons we can derive from her story. You see, she was born in a very poverty-stricken village in Maharashtra, in India. Those were the time, probably it was around 1940s or 45. India had India was about to get freedom when she was born. As a child, she received no formal education. Her family were so poor they could not afford any education. She wanted to go to school, but instead she was uh, tasked in herding the buffaloes. She used to herd the buffaloes and cows also. At the age of 9, she was got married, and her husband's age was 30 years. Right, her age was 9, and her husband's age was 30 years. By the age of 19, she was pregnant, and she already had 3 sons, and she was pregnant with a fourth child. Right. Now, what happened in her village? There was a person, a mafia like, a gunda like person in her village who was abusing women by forcing hard labor for little pay. So, Sindhu Tai, she took the courage and reported about this person to the district collector. And district collector took action against that person. And in retaliation, what does that mafia or dacoit do? He falsely accused her of infidelity to her husband. He claimed, he went to her husband, he said, "You see, the child which is there in her womb is not your child, it's my child." He narrated this story. It was actually false accusation. And those times, chastity had great value, right? So her husband, receiving this lie, receiving this false news, he was so disturbed that he started beating her. Not only beating her, but actually kicking her in her stomach, in her womb, in order to kill the child, which was still unborn, still in her womb. So he was so much beating her, kicking her, that she became unconscious after a certain amount of time. Then he dragged her to the nearby cowshed, hoping these cows and buffaloes will trample over her and she will die because of their heavy weight. But what happened? There was a miracle which happened there. In the cowshed, in the Goshala, one cow came and stood right over her in order to give protection. She was right under that cow, and that cow was standing right over her, giving her protection from other animals, other buffaloes, other cows, and other bulls. And whenever any other cow or buffalo would try to come near her, she would throw them away with her horns. Right. So she remained under that cow for certain hours, probably 2-3 hours, in the unconscious state. And after 2-3 hours, when she regained her consciousness, she gave birth to a baby girl under that same cow only. Can you imagine? Right? She gave birth to that baby girl. And there was no hospital, there was no doctor, there was no nurse. The girl was born on her own. And the umbilical cord was still connected through her womb and that baby girl's womb. So she took a stone nearby, and it took her almost 20 strokes to cut the umbilical cord. Can you imagine? She herself cut that umbilical cord. And somehow other, after a certain amount of time, she could gather some help. Uh, uh, she could gather some strength. She stood and embraced the cow. And she made a promise to that cow that, as you protected me, I will also protect others in need. Right? But what would she do? She took that baby girl, a very small child, a newborn child, and came to her home. Her families did not accept her because the rumor that that mafia person is spread. Her entire chastity was questioned, and neither her paternal side, neither her maternal side, nobody would accept her. Neither her husband's home nor her mother's home, nobody would accept her. She was all alone. Where she would go? She started living in crematorium with her baby, right? And how did she survive? People came with the leftover wheat and rice, those who used to surround on the dead body. She would collect those rice or wheat. She would soak them in the river nearby and cook them on the funeral fire of the dead bodies. Can you imagine? And she would eat that. She did that for almost a month. And after a month, she was so terribly, so terribly uh, dejected and under depression that she wanted to commit suicide. She thought, what is the use of living this kind of lifestyle in crematorium and surviving on the, thrown away, not thrown away, rice and wheat used for burning the dead bodies. She was so desperately exhausted and frustrated with the life that she wanted to commit suicide. So what should she do? She went to the railway tracks nearby and lay herself along with her small daughter to die, anticipating that a train will come and the train will cut both of us. Right. So while she was lying there, after a few moments, she started hearing a terrible cry, a very pitiful cry, and she noticed that it's not a cry of some child. It looks like some elder person. She followed that sound, and she found a very old, debilitated person who was starving, who was crying because of hunger. Probably he had not eaten in days, 4 days, 10 days, God knows how many days, right? So hearing those terrible cry, she thought, let me try to do something for him. And she took it as an indication of Krishna, that she was a believer on Krishna. She thought, maybe Krishna wants me to do something. Maybe Krishna wants me to help somebody in need. So what she do? She started begging there for that old man who was crying because of hunger. She started begging, and some people came and gave her some food, and then she went and gave it to that old man. And when that old man took that food, he was so happy that he ate that food, and he mitigated his hunger, and he was so happy that he blessed her like anything. And seeing that words of faith, that hope and blessings coming from that old man, she became so hopeful that she thought, I still have some meaning in my life. I can still do something in my life. I can still serve somebody who are in needs. So she therefore gave up the idea of committing suicide and thought, let me start serving people. So, but what to serve? Whom to serve and how to serve? I don't have anything with me. I don't have any money. I don't have any position, any home. What will I serve? How will I serve? She started praying to Krishna, please help me. Please help me. Right. So she went to a place and sat under a tree. What would she do? She thought, she was looking here and there, nothing, no idea came. Suddenly, she looked above her and she saw the tree under which she is sitting. There is a branch which is half cut and half hanging. That half cut branch was giving her shade. That half cut branch was still giving her that shelter. She took it another indication of Krishna. This branch, its life is like me. It's half cut. Probably it has no meaning. It's going to die very soon, exhaust very soon, dry very soon. But still in this condition, it is giving shade to me. It is giving shelter to me. So I have some hope I can do something. Then she resolved, I will serve the orphan children. I see here there are many orphan children, those who are begging. So these orphans, they don't have anyone to take care of. So I'll start serving them. So she started begging and feeding some of those orphan children. She would beg in the market, she would beg in the railway stations, and everywhere, wherever she would find some people, people started giving her some money, some food, and whatever she got, she used to serve the orphan children. Right. So gradually, this news is spread, and people knew there is a lady. Her name is Sindhutai. She had a small daughter with her, and she is serving the orphan children. She is feeding the orphan children. So people became more merciful and kind, and started giving more donations. Somebody started giving clothes also, ration, I mean raw foods also. Somebody gave a little small piece of land where she would build a small home, a little hut, and she would accommodate few children there. So gradually, over the period of time, her family of orphan children started increasing. When she started, it was two. Gradually, started increasing, 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 and you will be surprised to know that the results say that over the period of time, 15 years, or over the period of time, she raised about 1,500 children and had more than 1,000 grandchildren. Everyone was orphaned, right? Not only she gave them food, not only she gave them shelter, not only gave them education, but she made them into expert doctors, lawyers, and professionals. right? And many of her children, getting after those degrees, they started giving her more donations, more donations. So that's how a single alone disabled lady, she could serve a community of 2,500 people. Can you imagine? And her efforts were recognized by so many organizations and so many government people. Here in the photographs, you can see she's being seen with Amitabh Bachchan, Amir Khan, President of India, right? And Christian missionaries in other areas. So this selfless service is actually what attracting the people. So the kind of pain, the kind of trouble, the kind of difficulties and obstacles she had undergone, probably no one in our life could ever imagine that, right? So still there are people, those who are living, and there takes a turn after a certain amount of time, after some years, she finds that one old person has come. His family has rejected him, and he is in his 70s or 80s probably. And this old person has heard that there is a lady called Mai. Her name actually she got a nickname Mai. There's a lady called Mai, and she is maintaining orphans. So now my family has kicked me out, so probably I can take her shelter. So this old person goes to her and knocks on her door, and immediately she recognizes that it is her own husband, ex-husband, who kicked her, who wanted to kill her. And this person did not recognize her as his wife, and therefore he begged that my family has betrayed me, and now I have come here to take shelter. Please, can you give me shelter? And then she introduced herself. You remember, I'm your wife you wanted to kill, right? I'm your same wife. You threw so many legs. You bit me. You kicked me. You punched me. You slapped me. You dragged me in order to kill me. Now, should I forgive you or should I give you shelter? What to do? She actually gave him shelter. She gave him this shelter, and she said, now our relationship is not like husband and wife. Our relationship is, you are my son and I'm your mother. So here, everyone is my son. So this is our relationship here. And she took him into her orphanage, and she introduced with others, and she said, like, he is my eldest son, and sometimes he's very naughty. Right? Can you imagine what life is actually about? What kind of people are existing in this world? What perception of reality they are carrying, right? So therefore, forgiveness frees you too. Do not hold grudges. The grudges are like drinking poison, expecting the other person to suffer. Forgive. Forgive not because they deserve it, but forgive because you deserve peace. So letting go is a strength, it's not surrender. So let go of things. So therefore, true spiritual maturity reflects in our ability to genuinely appreciate others despite all odds. True spiritual maturity actually reflects in our ability to accept the obstacles which are coming in our life without any complaints, right? So therefore, this is sign of stability. This is sign of maturity. Do not think that our life has become very harshful. Do not think that we are getting we are getting tormented by the life so much. No, Baba. We have not gone through so many difficulties, what people are facing, right? So what is the solution? Let us not lose our calm. What is ultimate spiritual realization? What is ultimate spiritual victory? Why we lose our calm? Bhagavad Gita talks about, it says, Bhagavad Gita 6.6, Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmevatmana jitaha anatmanasya shatrutve vartetatmeva shatruvat. He says our mind is the greatest cause behind it. Our mind is our friend also, or our mind is our enemy also. Not only friend, but our mind can become the best friend if we can control our mind. But if our mind remains uncontrolled, it can become the worst enemy. Our mind will make plans. Oh, what is the meaning of living such kind of lifestyle? Go commit suicide, drink the poison, jump from this height, hang yourself up, shoot others. So mind goes crazy. So therefore, the Bhagavad Gita says, uncontrolled mind, it actually pulled by desires and aversion. So therefore, the uncontrolled mind and our false ego, they react the criticism and praise and obstacles and difficulties coming into the life, right? So therefore, the real strength which Bhagavad Gita teaches us, real strength is actually he is steady, who is not disturbed by happiness and distress. Sukheshu anudvigna, dukheshu anudvigna manaha, sukheshu vigata sprihaha. So one who is steady in happiness and one who is steady in distress, one who is not disturbed by distresses and who is not so much elated by happiness, he is called steady. Isthita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. Arjuna asked, my dear Krishna, who is a person who is totally fixed, who is steady? And Krishna is giving answer. So therefore, real strength is not in shouting. Real strength is not in showing off or controlling others. Real strength is in staying steady in dualities of life. Dualities of success, failure, dualities of happiness and distress, dualities of day and night, dualities of praise and criticism, dualities of being worthy and being worthless, dualities of having situations beyond our control or totally under our control, dualities of people offending us or sometimes people appreciating us. This world is actually filled with dualities. The real sign is staying steady in dualities, not getting affected by the positive signs also and not getting affected by the negative signs also. We need to become steady, and that's what sthita pragya actually means, right? So the question comes, Prabhuji, how to cultivate that calm and strength? This is the question. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita talks about various verses. Here you can see the series of verses Bhagavad Gita is giving. You can note down these verses of Bhagavad Gita, right? Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shuni cheva shopake cha pandita samadarshina. He says, Krishna says, a person who is endowed with knowledge, vidya vinaya sampanne, he he develops the vision by which he can see everyone equally. Pandita samadarshina. He becomes a really learned person. And what is sign of learned person? Samadarshina. He doesn't differentiate between people. He sees everyone equally with the eyes of compassion. He wants to serve everyone. He wants to benefit everyone. He don't want to exploit anyone. So that kind of mood is needed in order to become peaceful and calm. So this comes by developing. This comes by gaining knowledge of scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, right? So don't let outer events disturb your peace. Bhagavad Gita, the sixth chapter talks about that. The sixth chapter is actually basically giving a lot of sutras or formulas for controlling our mind. So what is the seventh verse talks about? Jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahitaha sitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha mana apamanayoh. Krishna is saying, for one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already achieved. अरे बाबा जितात्मना प्रशांतस्य परमात्मा समाहिता. जिसने अपने मन को कंट्रोल में कर लिया उसने परमात्मा को हासिल कर लिया. परमात्मा समाहिता. Krishna is saying, right? And what is the sign? Sita ushna sukha dukkeshu. He is not affected by heat and cold, summer or winter seasons. Sukha dukkeshu. He is not affected by happiness or distress which is coming. Tatha man apamanayo. He is neither affected by honor and dishonor. For him, everything is same, right? And how does a person comes to this kind of a state? He says, Yunjan eva sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasah shantim nirvana paramam matsamsthanam adhigacchati. Practicing constant control of the body, mind, and activities, the mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated, attains to kingdom of God by cessation of material existence, right? So therefore, Bhagavad Gita talks about regular chanting and study of Bhagavad Gita, connecting ourselves to the divine. When we connect ourselves to the divine supreme power of Krishna by chanting his holy names, by getting connected with devotees, we gain the power to control ourselves, to accept any situation which is coming in our life and remain calm, right? Deen Bandhu Deenanath, Meri Dori Tere Haath, in Hindi we say. So by connecting ourselves with Krishna, we are actually handing over the ropes of our life in the hands of Krishna. Krishna, you become the driver. Till now, I was trying to drive my own life, but I am getting more and more frustration. But now I hand over my ropes of the chariot. Please, you become the driver. Take me wherever you want. Lead my life wherever, whatever way you like. The way Krishna, the way Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, let us surrender to Krishna and see what happens. And I can guarantee you, Krishna will make our life more beautiful, right? So therefore, what do we need to do? The practical tips, the practical tools to stay calm, the scriptures teach us, which Bhagavad Gita teaches, is summarized in this slide. He says, first is association. Be with those who make you feel calmer, not chaotic. Come in the association of good devotees. Everywhere in all the scriptures in Bhagavad Gita and all other scriptures, a lot is being taught about association with saintly minded people. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastre Kai, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. It says, the scriptures are glorifying the association of devotees so much. If a person can get even a small amount of time of association with devotees, he can attain all perfection if he can sincerely follow their teachings. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. So therefore, we request all of you, wherever you are, come in the association of devotees. Start visiting the temple, ISKCON temple near you. If that's not available, online association is there. Come in the contact of devotees, be in touch with them, discuss with them, ask them, share your thoughts with them, share your questions with them, follow their advice, follow their instructions, and you can see a drastic change will come in your life. Magical things will start happening in your life. That is association, right? And second thing is begin the day with morning by calm challenge. What is that challenge? Don't use phone. I mean, if possible, try to spend the morning hours with the spiritual domain with Krishna. Chant Krishna's name, read Bhagavad Gita, give some time for meditation. Start your day with that mood, right? And you'll see how peaceful you become. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare with other people. अरे उसके पास इतनी बड़ी गाड़ी है, अरे उसके पास इतना बड़ा घर है, he has such a big house, he has such a fancy car, he has got such wealth. मेरे पास ऐसा कुछ नहीं, I don't have anything. Don't compare. Whatever we have is actually good for us. It is our quota, and that is good for us. Just try to be happy and satisfied in that. Don't compare with others. Comparison actually brings unhealthy comparison, and it ultimately disturbs our peace of mind. Just try to remain satisfied with whatever you have. By Krishna's grace, the kind of lifestyle which we are living, millions of people are aspiring to live that lifestyle. People don't have food to eat. People don't have water to drink. Just imagine the condition of people in the Middle East nowadays. They can't sleep in the night. So many missiles are flying over their head. Sirens are all the time buzzing. They can't sleep. They can't eat peacefully. They can't sleep peacefully. They can't drink peacefully. They can't commute peacefully. They can't go to the office peacefully. What to say of watching IPL and other things? Their life is totally frustrated. It's almost 2-3 months the war situation. And the kind of resources, the kind of things which Krishna has provided us, it is actually dreams of millions and millions of people. So we are living by the grace of God, we are living a very good lifestyle. Just imagine the good fortune which we have. Be grateful to Krishna what he has provided. So therefore, don't compare, right? And fast, this one of the greatest problems, one of the most stress-giving problem people have is this digital media, social media, gadgets. If possible, try to go fasting digital, right? Spend an hour a day without any gadgets. Spend a day in a month without any gadgets. If possible, spend some time, few days in a year without the gadgets. Try to live close to the nature. Try to live in an atmosphere, and a serene atmosphere close to association of devotees in some temple. Nowadays, we have so beautiful guest house. Start spending your time near temple, near God, right? And write some gratitude journaling. Write 3 things that you are grateful for today, right? What blessings Krishna has given you in your life. Try to see the positive hands of Krishna in your life. That is important. And respond. Start responding calmly. That is most important, right? And one of the greatest points Bhagavad Gita which teaches us about is Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvad tadvad kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti na kama kami. Bhagavad Gita says, just as the ocean remains undisturbed, though rivers flow into it, so a person fixed in his spiritual consciousness is not disturbed but desires and attains peace, right? So this is the method. We need to develop that heart of spiritual consciousness such big like an ocean. In that ocean, even if so many powerful rivers like Ganga and Yamuna They flow so forcefully into the ocean, but still the ocean is not disturbed even by an inch, right? So the desires, they will come, but we need to develop our spiritual consciousness so great, so deep, like an ocean. So therefore, living in the association of devotees, starting some spiritual practice will help us. So there is a lot to learn actually, but this is the beginning which I am talking about, right? So don't worry about what people are going, what people are saying, what people challenges they are coming. Everything will be there. As I mentioned, this world is filled with, this world is like an ocean of calamities and obstacles. But we need to take the shelter of a boat of lotus feet of Krishna, and the boat can easily sail across the ocean. So Krishna's lotus feet are like that boat. The entire world is like the sufferings, the ocean of sufferings, and Krishna's lotus feet are like that boat. We just need to sit on that boat and we can easily cross over this ocean of material sufferings, right? Therefore, the greatest example is Lord Ram himself. What problems do we have and what problems did Lord Ram went through? It was an ocean of problems. He was about to become the king, the prince regent, but immediately he was exiled. The entire Ayodhya, they could not handle this loss. They could not accept what has happened. Everyone was devastated, everyone was disturbed, everyone was totally shattered, except one person, which was Lord Ram. Lord Ram was totally calm during the period of exile, during the time of exile. Why? The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more depth. Lord Ram was very deep into his spiritual consciousness. That is the lesson which Lord Ram is giving us. We need to become more deep in our spiritual practices. We need to become more deep in our connection with God. So therefore, be calm like the ocean and strong like the mountain and stable like the sun. Now it will happen by becoming more deep in our spiritual consciousness and in our connection with God. That is a missing link. In earlier times, when I started with that joke of Satyug, Dwapar Kalyug, so people were more conscious of God. So therefore, they would not get troubled by the calamities and obstacles which are coming in their life. But nowadays, people are not at all conscious about God. Therefore, even a small amount of obstacles, they look so big to them. Even a small amount of troubles, they look so big to them, right? So, in a summary, I would say start applying these four things in your life. These four things are very powerful, very powerful. One is, if possible, chant names of God. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare. We as sadhus, we chant 16 rounds a day. But you, in your home, with your jobs and professions, you can chant at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever time you have. One round or two round. Start chanting Krishna's name. That builds inner determination and resilience, right? Second is start reading Bhagavad Gita daily. By reading Bhagavad Gita, we sharpen our intelligence. We start fine-tuning our mind, dovetailing our intelligence as per Krishna's thoughts, as per Krishna's vision. So therefore, reading Bhagavad Gita and the scriptures, they give us power to make right choices. And they help us to identify what is right for me, what is wrong for me. And they give power to select only right. Third is come in satsanga, come in good association. That satsanga, good association, it uplifts our spirit and confidence and good habits. Chanakya Pandit used to say, Tyaja Durjana Samsargam Bhaja Sadhu Samagamam Kuru Punya Ahoratram Smaranitya Nityatam. He used to say, Tyaja Durjana Samsargam. The first thing we should do is give up the association of bad, demotivating, negative minded people. And what do we do? Bhaja Sadhu Samagamam. Come in the association of good, saintly minded people. Those who can fill yourself with positivity and positive energy. They can connect you with God. That is satsanga. Satsanga means true association. That true association is of devotees, not materialistic, those who are running after wine, wealth, and women, right? They are not true association. And fourth is render some service. Render some service to humanity, render some service for the satisfaction of God. That service will actually bring joy. That service will actually bring good, true friendship. That service will make us more humble and it will satisfy us. Savai pumsam paro dharma yato bhaktiradaukshaje ahetukiya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. It says the highest form of religion is when a person starts loving and serving God and loving and serving the entire humanity. that brings yatma suprasidati, that brings eternal happiness, inner fulfillment to everyone. So have some purpose in life and give, give your life in service to others. That these spiritual habits, they actually build that inner resilience and strength to fight against all these problems which the world is giving us. The world is tormenting us with so many problems, right? So 1 hour has passed, so I'll stop here. But I especially thank all of you for making this good choice of registering yourself with this course and stay connected. A lot of things you are going to learn, so many things you are going to learn, so many things are coming in your life, and you can, like, I can guarantee one who can stay, one who will stay throughout this entire session, his entire life will be changed into a direction which he would never imagine in his life. So much positivity, so much benefit, so much wonderful things are going to come. Just stay connected, right? Thank you so much. I'll stop here. If anyone has any question or comments, please they can share.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And even who gets connected in all the 6 sessions on in these all 6 Saturdays will also get prizes from our side. So before we end in 2 minutes, we'd like to share 3 things with you. First is I request each and every one of you to please fill this poll. If you have heard this wonderful session, I would request these 2 questions